Hello everyone, I am Abheek and I am pursuing my Masters of Public Health from GD Goenka University, and today I will talk about the status of suicide in different countries. Like before going to the main topic, let's just know what is suicide. The suicide is an intentional act of taking one's own life as a result of significant emotional or psychological distress or depression or a feeling of extreme hopelessness. Suicide is a significant public health problem which can be dealt with raising awareness, making aware about why suicide is not an option to just to their problems, by sharing their problems, and etc. There are certain reasons of why people take such extreme steps, like either there's a huge financial condition, or there's a loss of loved ones, work stress, or any critical illness which like they're unable to share with others, and that feeling of that feeling feels like a burden from long time, and when they are like totally unable to get out of it or find a solution, or they feel like they're tired of everything, just want things to end, they ultimately pick this unreversible solution. As suicide, as I said earlier, suicide is not the end of problems. Just come come up to speak up, open up, make community where people will hear you, they will understand you, and then they can also share their problems along with you. Then you can also understand them. There's a lack of understanding between people, as there also stigma that how will they will think about my problem, they might even make fun of the problem, they won't take me seriously. So these mental conditions make things far worse than they actually is. As I said earlier, suicide is definitely not a solution for ending the problems. It's just another way of running from the problems, that too for a permanent way. It's like a coward's way. I know I may sound harsh, but rather attempting suicide, is better to be open, approach some community or some health services. There are many health services available online for those seek mental health. They help you in getting out of such problems. So now I will talk about the status of suicide across different countries. I have data of top 10 countries in the world where the suicide rates are significantly high. So first of them is the country called Lesotho, where the suicide rate is 72.4% per 100,000 population, and the depression rate is 5.17%. Another country named Guyana, where the suicide rate is 40.3% and the depression rate is 5.15%. Third is the Eswatini, where the suicide rate is 29.4% per 100,000 population and the depression rate is 3.87%. The fourth country is the South Korea, where the suicide rate is 28.6% and the depression rate is 2.64%. Fifth on the list is the federal state of Micronesia, where the suicide rate is 28.2% per 100,000 population and depression rate is 2.87%. Sixth on the list is Lithuania, where the suicide rate is 26.1 per 100,000 population and the depression rate is 5.42%. Seventh on the list is Suriname, where the depression rate is 25.4%. The suicide rate is 25.4% and the depression rate is 5.1%. The eighth country is the Russia, where the suicide rate is 28.1% per 100,000 population and the depression rate is 3.91%. Ninth country is the South Africa, where the suicide rate is 23.5 per 100,000 population and the depression rate is 4.45%. And the last on the list is the country Ukraine, where the suicide rate is 21.6 per 100,000 population, and the depression rate is 5.25%. These are the top 10 countries in the world, and as we can see, according to data of the suicide rate per 100,000 population and the depression rate, it is clearly visible that the people there are having much mental health problems. Either it's from financial problem, or long term illness, or work life stress, or family problems, or some maybe something else more personal. This shows that the people there don't, either they don't have access for sharing their problem, the inbuilt piled up problem, to someone close or to a community, or they can't approach to a health organization where they can share their problem and they can be guided to what to do and what not to do. This shows the lack of effective mental health intervention there, which is urgent, because the suicide is, as we are in a dynamic life, everything, every usually there's people work from 9 to 5, they have work life stress, they have the financial stress, they have their personal stress, their personal life also matters. So all these stress where they can't really share up, they can't really talk up with others, they can't really understand each other, they think they're isolated, but they are not. They think they cannot talk to anyone, they are just totally hopeless, and this feeling of hopelessness in such situation, it makes it more worse, and then the only thing, remaining option is suicide. So I'm again saying that suicide is not an option. Okay, everyone has their own share of problems, they suffer, they have their stress, physical, mental, emotional, but suicide won't end it. It won't, if you don't overcome it, you won't be able to move ahead with your life, and suicide will totally and completely end your life, making the close ones, the family members of yours, suffer. So thank you for today. I hope this, with this data, I can understand that how much suicide is a big problem in this dynamic generation, fast moving generation. This will be all for now. So thank you.